Maine, I will never change. No matter how far I go, I'll always be the same, even if I told the world.
America Jackson Fugani right here in the Voice of America Studios, Studio 43, with my main man, Pallaso. Pallaso is like a little brother to me. I've known him ever since he was a little kid, but he's made his way into the musical echelons here in the US. Pallaso, welcome to the show.
Thank you so much, Jackson. My pleasure.
Let me ask you, and we're gonna have a really quick conversation. Some of the challenges of breaking into the US market as a diaspora artist.
Yeah, man. Some of the challenges. The first major one was the English barrier, because a lot of people could not understand what you're saying in the music, so it was like almost impossible to relate. Then secondly, where I'm from, it's not a lot that's going on, a few things, so you don't have a whole lot of resources compared to other states, but that was one of the biggest challenges. Lastly, gathering up the fans,
But you've been able to build a base right now where you are, and you're based in Maine.
Right.
When you're singing, who are you singing to? Are you singing to your fan base in Maine, or obviously where you started from back home in East Africa?
See, that's one major problem that I still face even up to this date, because I try to balance both audiences. I do music for Africa, Uganda, and I do music for Maine, majorly Maine, because that's where I live right now. That's the place I call home. But I try to balance it also, like say on Facebook, when I try to communicate with my fans, sometimes I write things that people in Maine could relate to and people in Uganda cannot, or vice versa.
Is that a problem though?
It is a big problem.
Finding the middle ground for that.
Yeah, it's like a big problem, so I gotta like write something that is like just thrown up in the air, you don't got a side. Like.
So musically then, how do you create a sound but also a message that speaks to those two different audiences?
I'm still having that problem, because like my music, like my English music, when I send it home, they have a problem. They say, oh, that's a lot of English, and my African music over here, people cannot relate. So really what I decided I'd do is in a year, I usually release like say 2 mixtapes or 2 albums. One strictly with music back home, and I used it Afrobeats, like my last song, Move Your Body, that's right now becoming a great hit in Uganda. It was produced by Clever J, and it's a Ugandan type of music. Yeah, a Ugandan producer with a Ugandan sound. Okay. Then my other sounds, that is to my American fans, English music, is produced by American producers. So I try to just balance it out. In the middle, maybe when I gain greater and greater fans, maybe they'll meet me halfway.
And you spoke a little bit about the challenges of getting airplay on radio stations, either back home in East Africa and here in the US, because they don't feel which one of the audiences they'll be relating to. Right. But you've been able to use the internet to push your stuff. Talk to me about how the internet has helped you in putting your message out there as an artist.
Yeah, the internet is such a great tool, man. I started off in the days of MySpace, but right now YouTube's doing it. Facebook, we got a whole lot of fans. Like I got like 15,000 people on Facebook, so I release a song today. Like for example, our greatest hit, Change, right now, finally, is playing on 104.7 hit music station, Maine. Matter of fact, on Voice of America, man. Shout out to 104.7, man. For you're the first radio station, hit music station in Maine to really play our record on radio as to the people's requests. But to the internet, man, it's kind of like,
it has been a great platform.
Yeah, it's a great platform, man. Like that's the reason why the radio played our record too, because it went viral on the internet and people started requesting on the internet. Their Facebook got washed out with requests for the song, and they just had to play it, man. And lately, like back in the day, the record labels had a problem. I feel like there was no people gathered up on the internet, so you really had to sell records. You really had to reach out. But I communicate with my fans in my tower, sit back in my house, And
now I mentioned to our listeners that I know you and your family, great friends of mine, very musical family. Okay, your brother Chameleon, your other brother Weasel of the Radio and Weasel duo, and AK-47, who I've never met, by the way. I probably met him, but I've never, How has that influenced your music? How have they? Where did that come from, by the way? Because I know growing up with your older brothers,
right,
they played guitar, they sang a little bit, but I never knew whether it came from your father's, your dad's side or your mother's side. Did you guys ever think of where did our musical, inclination come from?
We heard a story that our grandfather was a guitarist. That's
the most
not yet confirmed.
Right.
That's the most I've heard. We grew up as artists, like drawing pictures and compositions, modeling and all that. But looking back on our history as brothers, one day, our dad bought us toys, he bought us soccer balls, he bought us everything. Our dad, used to support us, like whatever we did. Then one day he bought a keyboard, like.
And I remember that. I thought you didn't know that.
Keyboard. That one was.
I was right there when they delivered that keyboard.
That one was broken in 1 week. It was broken in 1 week, piece by piece. We played that keyboard till it broke. He used to buy radios and they did not last a week. We used to break them, but when he bought soccer balls and all that, they stayed brand new for years.
And the reason why I asked that was really to go to the root of how the family upbringing can really influence and shape somebody's career. We know that mostly in Africa, when young people want to get into the music industry or music business, when they have an inclination to go in the artsy world or sports world, the parents kind of discourage them, but your parents kind of helped you along by encouraging you but also supporting you a little bit.
I cannot really say that. Maybe our mother was really behind the whole movement straight from the get-go. But our dad, was a man that used to work in an office, wake up every day with a shirt and tie. And he was the type of person that wanted us to follow the same, steps, chase his reps.
Right.
But like in the end, he actually apologized to me like about a year ago. We had a deep conversation and it's like, I'm really sorry. I never really envisioned it would end up like this. Like back in the day when we was growing up, everybody wanted to be a soccer player, be a engineer, be something else. But lately, we's on radio or other artists from Uganda, Chameleon can tell you, man, everybody's trying to be an artist. So parents have really realized that being an artist is something to, be happy about, and they glorify their kids for having talent.
So let's talk about then about the importance of the arts in a community.
In the community.
What do you see? If you wanted to encourage a parent whose son is gravitating towards music, what is your pitch to them? Why would they encourage them?
Well, lately, people used to leave their countries and the country used to be behind them, and that's what I was telling Radio on Weasel actually when I met him. Is Kiprotich goes to Olympics and the whole country celebrates him, he comes back with a medal. Radio and Weasel deserve the same recognition. They're the first Ugandans, however way you want to put it. You like it or you don't like it, however way you put it, they're the first Ugandans to go to BET Music Awards. They deserve the same recognition. We go to school, I don't think children should quit their education, because you need education. It's the key to everything, You want to speak English, you want to speak a foreign language, you need some education of a kind.
Right.
But parents need to learn talent is talent and it's something that God has given. Education
should be nurtured.
Right.
And encouraged.
Right. And lately, say in our state, we got a big problem with, say, cancer, cystic fibrosis, the Boston bombings, you heard about them?
Right.
I'm doing a show in Boston on July 28th raising money for the victims of the bombings. Yeah. He just did a show recently for the victims of the Lewiston fires. We're contributing positively to the community. Why is it not the whatever they want their sons to be, maybe a pilot? Why isn't the pilot raising the money for the
doctor?
Victims? Exactly.
Right.
You know what I mean? But it's
so there's a very important role to say,
play a role
that,
in
and that's something I guess is recognized mainly in the Western societies, but not back home. I want us to play your song, one of two of your songs that you want to select for our listeners. That songs that you feel that can describe you as an artist.
Right, I feel like, because my music based on struggle, daily struggles, all the struggles I've been through and all the struggles I grew up watching all my friends go through and the struggles I still struggle to go through every day. My music is inspirational, a lot of it. I Beg You Play Change. It's the record that changed my whole entire career in Maine. And the new record, actually you're going to be the first to hear it right here with Jackson on VOA. It's If I Try. It's the latest record of the Change album, coming out in stores August 24th.
Yay.
And lastly, before I forget, shout out to my brother Mess, my brother from another mother. Together we can build. He's my partner.
He's your partner.
He's an ex-sergeant in the Marines, very talented man. He sings, he raps, he got passion, he got high respect, and he's very loved in his community, man. Man has done a lot of great things from where he's from. Everybody loves him, and I'm grateful. I could never have a better partner than the Mess.
And
man.
shout out to you for being able to recognize that.
Definitely.
You have, you know,
wholeheartedly, man.
Yeah. And you know, Pallaso, thank you very much. You know, really proud of you, man. Really proud of you for what you're doing for the community, for representing the culture and the country.
Definitely.
Musically.
Definitely.
You know, hopefully we can have you on the show sometime soon again.
I hope so, man. I want to shout out everybody from the state of Maine, everybody that supports me from Africa, and shout out to VOA for having me here today. Big up everybody, man.
All right.
Love y'all.
207 Maine and Uganda, to everybody that don't believe in themselves.